Oh, so the software says I'm live. I'm just going to wait to see if everybody can see me or hear me. It's probably going to take a while. Is the sound okay? Everybody? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm just going to assume that the sound is okay. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to another live stream, another adventure today. It almost didn't happen because I was having difficulties opening the streaming app on my computer for some reason, but you know, things happen. So today we're gonna do the next 3 ones from the Inktober channel. I know I'm kind of one day behind, but that doesn't matter, right? We're just gonna do them all this this month. So in accordance to the last time feedback that I got from, especially from a lot of colleagues that were like watching me and watching the stream, we are going to do these things a little bit more zoomed in. So we are going to show a little bit more zoomed in what's going on. I'm just picking up my microns. I'm looking for the 005 because well, I always need a 005. But let's get started. So the first prompt that I was trying to do is fancy. So I do not know a lot of things that are fancy or it's not in my style, but I thought what would a fancy potion look like? So it's more like a love potion with lots of flowers and maybe the moon inside because, you know, moon is fancy. And what I consider fancy flowers, and okay, I know that there are more fancy flowers than the ones I consider, are anemones. So, or however you want to call them, anemones. So this is what I kind of sketched. So this is as fancy as I'll go. It's not fancy, it's not my style. Even makeup is not necessarily my style, but apparently for live streaming you have to do it. Luckily my mom buys me a lot of makeup that always sits in the drawers until she comes back and throws them away because they're over expiration date. But this time I'm actually using them. So anyway, let's get started with inking. And let's talk about this fancy stuff. So I've always been fascinated by the moon ever since I was a little kid. And I don't know what do you have when you're a kid, but what I remember is at my grandma's, she used to have this tapestry up on the wall. And it was a scene from the 1001 Nights, the Scheherazade, where the scene is called stealing from the serai, or some prince is stealing a princess from the harem and so on. But what was fascinating was the moon in that scene, because actually the moon looked a bit different than what I was expecting. So what am I saying, the moon? You can see now how the moon is, the half moon is tilted differently a little bit in my picture here. And what we are used to in the northern hemisphere is with a half moon on this direction. But it turns out that in Turkey or in the southern hemisphere, the moon is tilted differently, if you didn't know. So that always fascinated me because I always thought it was a different world where a moon would look in a different direction. So yeah, fun fact. Afterwards, I got fascinated by the moon because I was watching Sailor Moon. Who doesn't watch Sailor Moon when they're young? I don't know. So watching Sailor Moon and the Moon Princess, and you know, like, kind of makes you dream. It's always fascinating. And that compounded with the fact that for a very long time I actually wanted to become an astronaut. Yes, fun fact, I wanted to become an astronaut when I was young. I didn't end up an astronaut, I ended up just a software engineer, so oh well, life brings you into mysterious ways. However, I remember doing so many things, let's say scientific communications and papers about the moon and the moon landing, and yeah, it was pretty fascinating. And it still is. I'm still fascinated by the whole thing, by the space and everything. But yeah, we live in a different world now. Maybe in the future they're going to be able to go back to the moon, and maybe in not so distant future we're all going to be able to go back to the moon and do that like out of our own salary. Yeah, dreaming here. Commercial. What was the latest commercial thing? Going to the moon, was it like $4 million? So okay, there's the new goal for us. Get this channel so high so I can make $4 million so I can go to the moon. Okay, that's it. Or at least in space or something. If you're wondering what this is my Bluetooth headset, so I can hear whether the sound is still working on the actual live stream. Because if I use the normal headsets, it will interfere and everybody will hear very weird sounds. But apparently the Bluetooth headsets, I can actually connect it and I can actually listen. So I don't have to ask anybody during the live stream, you know, is it working? So where were we? Yeah, going to the moon and the big plan. So the big plan is, of course, man, that actually sounds like a nice goal. Can I get enough money in 10 years so I can buy myself a place on the maybe Tesla or SpaceX rockets that will go to the moon? That'll be nice. Okay, isn't it a funny goal as a YouTuber, going to the moon? Yeah. If I don't make it, it's okay also. I'm also living through others, so we're going to, I hope you can see. Is it actually, what am I seeing here? It's not really it doesn't always zoom in for some reason. That's interesting. So maybe somebody can tell me what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Keep the drawing in the middle, somebody says. Okay, I'll keep the drawing in the middle. Okay. I keep watching there to make sure that it doesn't go out of focus. I have a feeling that when I need to change the camera and the tripod so that things are going. Of course, technology is here to the rescue. Maybe I need to put it more above so that it's not so close by. Whenever something is close by, it might be making problems. So I'm trying to draw as easy as possible so that it doesn't lose focus, which is going to be interesting because I tend to usually just rotate the paper. What do you think will happen if I rotate the paper? Cameras and filming are not the best always. And you can only yeah, maybe I need to zoom out a little bit. Let's try that. just a little bit. Oh, that's zooming in, and I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Sorry for that. We'll try to see if that helps. I think it's always trying to zoom in on the pen, which is interesting because the pen is moving, so that is I don't know if any of you have solved this problem, but it's interesting. Okay, where were we? Yeah, technology and going to the moon, were we? Yes. So the question is, do we think that we are able to, let's say in 100 years, live on the moon and have a base there and have fun and just, you know, make it like a bastion of humanity? That would be cool. Hopefully we're not gonna pollute it as we're polluting the earth, and we have learned our lesson. Maybe in the next stream I can try to stream also from the side with my older phone, so you can see also from the side something. I'll do more stems with a smaller pencil. Now I'm just trying to do this one. So I was watching online the other fancy prompts, and wow, some of these artists are just amazing. There was this artist that was doing like this Mad Hatter theme, and so pretty, so pretty. So, you know, another goal in let's say, let's give us some time. In 10 years I need to be able to draw like that person, like super awesome. The funny part is when you're learning to draw, or when you're thinking like, I have a lot of ideas I want to draw, I have a lot of stories I want to tell. The problem is putting those stories onto paper and actually making it. It's a different issue, because it never will look like what I have in my mind. And that's because my skills probably are not there yet. And that's okay for now, but I really want to improve, because I have so many stories to tell that it will be a shame that I cannot do that because I just cannot draw properly. So this is why I'm doing this. My dream has always been to make my own book, because I was writing short novels and science fiction since I was basically in, let's say, middle school. But it would be nice if I can also illustrate it myself, like all these nice ideas in my head, like of different worlds and going to the stars, and you know, that would be cool. When I was young, I was thinking that I'm going to be able to work at a game company as an artist, but then I quickly realized that I'm not very good. So they will never hire me. But then I decided I'm going to do it differently. I'm just going to become a programmer and go and work for a game company. That didn't happen either, because turns out it's much more better for your mental health and more lucrative to not work for a game company. And, you know, you go in and you work for things like banks and stuff. But I don't regret it. So it's actually quite fun. It's still a creative business, don't get me wrong. It's very creative. However, sometimes you just want to lose yourself in doing this. So the goal of the live stream is also to finish within the hour, because we actually have a meeting with our friends. So we're gonna do some gaming because we are gamers. So that's going to be nice. I don't even know if all of you that are watching are maybe watching also gaming streams. I sometimes do that. I enjoy my gaming streams, my World of Warcraft streams. But it's just an interesting question. Some of my colleagues are actually even streaming gaming streams, even if not sometimes nobody's watching, so that can happen. Okay, I'm not sure what I did here, but I did something good, I think, in the end. This is one of my favorite ones so far. Okay, it still competes with the radio from last week. I forgot to actually check the actual stream and the actual things. Okay, only 4 people watching now, so hi for the people that are watching. I hope you're having fun and you don't get angry with my ramblings here. I sometimes like to talk about everything, and this is also a chance for us to, rekindle and all this stuff. For the people that maybe are going to watch it afterwards, after the live stream is ended, hi, my name is Claudia and I like to do art and craft stuff. But now I'm trying to just improve my art and my drawing, because in the past I was doing a lot of card making, but I always wanted to actually make the card making myself. As in make the stamps and all of that stuff. But for that you need to learn how to draw. And of course, in the future, I'm going to be able to do that, because I'm going to improve. And I still like to use stamps, especially for coloring. They're really some cute stamps, let's put it this way, out there. And I really like a lot of designers, and sometimes drawing actually takes a lot of time. Let's be honest here. Like, no matter how much you would say, oh, I want to do a handmade card, everything I do myself, not even like, besides the fact that cards are all handmade because you make them with your hands, right? But like, you want to do everything, including the stamps, including the drawings, including everything. I think a lot of people don't realize how much work and how much time it goes into that. Like, even a normal card that you do with stamps still takes you about an hour to do. At least this is how much it takes me, because you have to think about so many things, and then there's the coloring. Now, if you would need to do the drawing also yourself, I would say that it's going to take you so much time that in the end you're probably not going to want to do it anymore. So it depends on the goal that you have, right? I would say, like, what is your goal? Is it your goal to learn drawing, or to do coloring, or to just have fun, right? Or to just create something for your friends? Then it doesn't matter. You don't have to learn how to draw. You don't have to learn how to do all this stuff. And I think it's perfectly fine. I don't believe that a handmade card needs to be made completely from scratch, or that's not the meaning of that, right? So it's all about what the goal is here. And my goal, my personal goal, is just to learn how to draw and to get much better at it. And that might be different from your goals, right? It doesn't mean I don't enjoy using stamps, or I don't enjoy making funny designs and using embossing powder and all that stuff. That's definitely not it. So I'm adding the last finishing touches for the leaves now. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is, in general, Inktober. Inktober can be very stressful. especially for a lot of artists, because they're trying to make like their best work so that they can also showcase. So they're trying to basically gain two goals in the same time. One is doing Inktober just so that you get the learning, and secondly doing Inktober so that you can dazzle your followers and get more followers and, you know, make a living out of your art, which is why I think a lot of people do not succeed and cannot keep the pace up, is because they're constantly trying to make an awesome thing every day, and they lose the track on actually they started on the Inktober to improve themselves, right? That the other part becomes more important, and I don't think that's I mean the most important thing of this one. I'm going to improve. I'm already seeing improvements here. Like, what's with this leaf? Why is it like that? Why is it on the side? Also, these lines, they don't really match the other roundness of all the other things. But in the end, you know, I'm already seeing improvements since I've started, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I think I'm done with the fancy. Of course, this is something that I'm going to just watercolor later on, and it's going to look much better when you put color on it. And I'm going to also, once it dries out, because I'm a bit afraid of smearing it out, is I'm going to erase all the pencil lines, right? So now let's think of another thing. How is it that some people can just draw without pencil lines and some people don't? It's not like I don't, right? It's just that I sometimes need a lot of practice to get the proportions right. So this is something I personally struggle. Doesn't mean all people are like that or all people want that. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Let me see if I zoomed in correctly. Lots of cables. I have a remote control, by the way, when I'm zooming in, so just so you know. Okay, so the idea that you are only an artist once you are able to draw everything and do everything just in one go, and that is so difficult to do. As in, yes, if you are very high up in the food chain of artists, maybe you can do that, but why would you put your pressure on yourself like that when you're just like beginning or even mid, right? If you're still a professional artist, as long as you make money out of your art, I would assume. But even so, why? Like, I want myself to make something that I'm proud of, and if I'm just gonna force myself to do things, that's not going to work. So anyway, is that a cat in the background? Yes, that's a cat in the background. His name is Hop. There you go. There you have it. His name is Hop. He's a boy, and he's a very sweet boy. And a lot of times when I have erasers on my desk, he steals them and runs away with them. But now he's sleeping, which is lucky, because then I don't have to worry about him. And I have another cat, and the other cat name is Deed. They're named, they were rescue cats, so we took them from a cat asylum. And they were actually found together on the street in the rain. So they're really nice cats. They're almost, I think yesterday they just got 1 year since they're with us. And I'm really liking that, because it feels like they've been here forever. Yeah. I think nobody's seeing what I'm drawing here, right? Is this how things go? So these are very delicate flowers. Okay. Okay. Let's see how I can draw without actually being in the way. This is so weird. How can you draw like this? Okay, that's why you need a side view. Okay, so that, you know, all this stuff doesn't find in a way. So for big things, I guess you could do it. I'm also learning how I'm doing this. Wow, this is so weird how I can, yeah, I need to, maybe that's why some YouTubers that I see out there hold their pencil in such a weird way that I could never hold it, because maybe it's the only way so that your hand is not in view. I don't know. Yeah. So these are very delicate flowers, but very nice. You can make them as fancy as you want. Kind of forgot the name of these flowers actually. I think they look almost like the gerbera, but it could be different as well. So one of the flowers was outside and the other flower was on the inside. So let's try to draw this inside flower now. You know, I'm worrying so much about filming right now, but I remember when I was doing my card making videos, I was filming on my phone and it wasn't as nerve-wracking as it was now. So this I drew inspiration out of my mother-in-law has this old perfume bottles actually. She has a collection of them and she likes to collect them because they're nice. Of course they don't have perfumes inside, but there are some bottles that are really nice made and they have like flowers inside the actual glass and they look so nice. And I'm always wondering how much those perfume bottles actually cost in reality, because she always takes them from the second-hand shop. But if they already sell it by the second-hand shop, like empty perfume bottle for a few euros, I'm always wondering those kind of perfume bottles, how much do they cost in real life? They're probably very expensive, like fancy. Although, if you think about it, why would rich people sell their fancy perfume bottles to the second hand? Okay, that makes no sense. Forget I said that. Sometimes I'm rambling too much. But yeah. So I have a video actually ready for these exact flowers on how I draw them usually, and just a small bit of a tutorial, which is really nice. The one thing I noticed when I was watercoloring them is that it becomes very difficult to make them stand out because the petals are so, how do you call, thin. Okay. What is your drawing face? My drawing face was on the tongue out, so sorry about that. But I'm just wondering, how do people draw when they draw? Do they go like, or scrunch their teeth? That would be funny to have a poll, like, what's your drawing face? It will be so fun. Like a drawing face competition. Oh yeah, that's what Instagram needs. Like a drawing face competition where everybody competes for the funniest drawing face. So the prompt for this particular one is throw. And I initially imagined this particular painting as having a hand that throws the potion up. But after seriously hours upon hours of trying to draw a hand, I decided that I will give up, that I'm not good at hands, and there's no way for me that I'll ever learn how to draw hands. Of course, now I know better. So what I did is I changed it around. I am throwing the contents of the potion in this water basin, which is also kind of nice and kind of fits the purpose, right? So no matter. I think sometimes in the past I would have gotten stuck. I wouldn't have known what to do and I would have given up. Or I would have tried to get the image in my mind onto paper. But now what I'm realizing is that it's like you just have to adapt. You just have to go ahead and try something else and see if that works. Your original idea doesn't always have to be that idea. So there are 5 people watching now. Hi! Hi, the 5th person. How is it going? We already started 32 minutes ago and I'm only struggling with the second one. Oh my goodness. Okay, so where were we? Yeah. So my advice is that whenever you're struggling with something, there's probably 1 or 2 things that are happening. Like last night, I was trying to draw one particular flower, and normally I have no problems with flowers. But last night, for some reason, I just couldn't draw it. Don't know why, don't know what was going on. And my husband at one moment says, well, it's probably too late and you're tired and your mind doesn't work properly when you're tired. And he's right. It was actually 12 at night. So most probably you can't draw something and you get frustrated, and that's probably because you're tired, right? And that's okay. And I think what you should do then, stop. It makes no sense to continue making mistakes and to continue trying to do something if you're tired. It won't go the way you want it to go. So the second one, that when you're trying to do something and it just doesn't work, it can very well be that you don't have yet the skills to do it. And I am the first one to admit it. I don't have all the skills needed for a lot of the things that I want to draw. So instead of trying to make it work, right, make a plan. And this is where I'm going to draw hand. I'm not going to follow the lines anymore. Because this one is too tiny and I'm just realizing now that I've made it too tiny. Okay, so you don't have the skills, and that's okay. The skills get acquired in time. You cannot have all the skills in the world just like that. I have yet to find a person that natively can draw anything. And maybe they are there, maybe they're the lucky 1% few, but majority of us, majority of artists, we need practice, right? And The funny part for this drawing, I was trying to draw a hand, and I never done that before, and I was expecting that, oh, but I'm kind of good at drawing, and I'm kind of good at this thing, and it's just going to work. And it's not true. It doesn't work like that. So don't expect things to happen. You just have to practice, and you have to have the patience. And if it doesn't work, just adapt. You don't have to scratch your entire idea. What other flower could you draw in there? What other thing could you do to put in your painting so that it actually looks nice, right? What other things might match the theme that you're trying to do, and that you can draw because you are able to do so. So think about those ones when you're doing these things, because they're important, and makes no sense to stress yourself and constantly stress and constantly trying to fix something that just doesn't work. You know, learning to let go is important, I think, in this part. And in the end, I'm still happy with this drawing, even though it wasn't the hand I was imagining, even though it wasn't what I wanted. I'm still happy, right? It's an improvement, it's a step forward. So that's okay. We can make it. You see what happens when you draw freehand? Like, you need to be very sure of yourself what you're doing here. It's otherwise doesn't always work. Again. I think when you have practice, and when you have practice of a few hundreds of hours of the same subject over and over again, then it becomes much easier to draw. Yeah, I think it becomes super easy, because it's like, basically it's like muscle memory, right? And you don't have to rely on memory or any other things when you're drawing, because your hand already knows the motions. So I think this is what I've learned also with Inktober, is last times I just gave up because I wanted to do things and they weren't working out, and I wasn't realizing that I just need more practice for certain things, and I could just as well do an Inktober without all the fancy things. Fancy, you know, like the previous prompt. And I can just, you know, have fun and do this kind of Inktober and still learn something. So nobody's saying anything anymore. It's okay. My internet still works. I assume my internet still works, and we're still live. Hopefully internet doesn't go away today. Okay. Now that we've done this, I have this feeling that I need way more flowers here and way more leaves and way more things. What do you guys think? Yeah, now let's just do this. It's for the next time, right? Next time we know we can do better. You know how hard it and how long it took me to be able to draw this bowl, this oval. For some reason I couldn't draw it in a perspective. Again, somebody at the door. It's very interesting. And now you're gonna see my husband going downstairs because, well, he's in the room here with me. Because actually my craft room is also the office and everything else and the living room, because I don't have a separate room for it. Yeah, I don't have enough space to have necessarily all the rooms in the world. So we're okay. Now with the pandemic, it becomes a little bit more interesting because, well, we both work from home and we're both having the same office and the same craft room and the same space. Sometimes it becomes crowded, but we're making it work. I don't know how everybody's working situations there are. Okay, Florin is lying on the couch after a long day at work. Indeed, it was a long day, wasn't it, Florin? I would say it was a long day for me as well. Somehow always Fridays or watching on TV. Oh, that means my head is super big on TV, right? That's gonna be very interesting. Like my head and my hands very big. Okay. So, yeah, we're talking about the living situations and all of that stuff. What I did do and what I realized I needed to do was a little bit change my craft area, and I'm going to say that what you see behind me is like super organized. Everything is awesome. And before, it was just a mess. There was just a random mess of drawers and things just sitting on the floor. And when you are in a pandemic and you're working also with your significant other in the same room, where I have my normal office, as in for the day job, and then I have my craft room, which was super crowded with everything, it becomes a bit unmanageable because you don't feel like you have any rest anymore. And this is, like, I think, a very big issue. So I've decided to redo this craft area a little bit. I bought some IKEA drawers, a lot of other things, and we worked for about a week to just redo everything. And now it's much more peaceful. I even got a couple of fake plants. I cannot get real plants because my cats like to chew on everything, including plants. And we had real plants before, and they were being sick after eating them. So now I just got some so I just took some IKEA plants that are really nice, and I put them all around just to brighten things up, and it really changes the atmosphere. It really makes us all a little bit lesser Florin is seeing all the details, right? It gives you the peace of mind. I don't know if anybody understands what I'm saying here, but yeah, the peace of mind is really important for me. I think I'm going to just draw one tiny other flower here. And when you have peace of mind and you have rest, then you can sleep good and you can work good, and then nobody fights with anybody because, well, why would you fight when everything is okay, right? So So that's why I did this, and I understand that maybe not everybody is able to redo their living situation, but as far as I understood, we're going to be in a lockdown and, you know, working from home till probably next year or longer. So I cannot afford necessarily to do this and to continue living without actually having a plan B, right? Like, how can we continue working and living? Are the fake plants safe? Though, yeah, the fake plants are safe. We're also keeping them a bit up so they don't always reach it. Okay, I'm going to say a word, maybe YouTube will stop me, but they usually poop it afterwards, but at least they don't puke. So, you know, that's really important for cats. Okay. I have 15 minutes to actually finish the last one. So this was the throw. So throwing things down into this kind of bowl. Does it actually fit with throw? I'm not sure, but you know, I'm just going to go on a limb and say, yeah, okay, in my mind it works, so it should work. Okay. Now the last one, which is actually also the most difficult one, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish in 15 minutes, but let's try. So the theme of the last one is teeth. Yes, you heard that right, teeth. Like, who comes up with these prompts? I don't know, Jake Parker probably. So I was just wondering how I'm going to draw this. And I just decided on some dragon teeth here and a really nice kind of potion bottle. And these flowers that are looking like bells. So let's see if I can make this perspective very good. I'm gonna start with the flowers because the flowers are usually in the front. But not what I was expecting when I thought I'm going to do Inktober. I'm like, what teeth? Why? Why do we need to draw this? It's not... I think maybe teeth would have gone very well with the next prompt, which is disgusting, but, you know. So... Okay. It took me quite a while to do this chain. Wow, chains. I didn't know chains are so difficult to draw. Like, you really have to watch very well how all the chains interlock. I mean, it sounds easy when you first look at it, but then it's not as easy as people think. So I'm really grateful for my husband who actually corrected me because I wasn't doing it very well. I don't have this 3D vision very well developed. But he's the actual artist and illustrator, so he was correcting me. And I really am grateful. He can teach me a lot. He's a very tough teacher though. Now he's listening and he knows that I said that he's a tough teacher, so maybe he will stop teaching me. Hopefully not, but... So it doesn't matter that I'm his wife. When he's in teacher mode, he goes all like, no, draw it again. And then, this isn't good here. Why isn't this good? How you can improve it? And I think the things that he makes me do sometimes is draw the same picture over and over again. Like, you have 1 hour to draw one eye, so you have to draw like 20 eyes in 1 hour, and you have to always improve, which sometimes people maybe would get mad at, but I'm thinking it's actually very good because it forces you to redraw the same thing over and over again, and it kind of creates the hand memory muscle. Oh, thank you. My mom is really liking the drawing. So, hi mom, how's it going? How's the weather? I think the weather should be fine there. By us is pretty cold. We actually had to turn on the heating because it was too cold. And it's only autumn. But I guess I'm not used to working in autumn from home. I'm just used to working from the office, which is properly heated. Uh-oh, our friends are telling us that they're ready when they are, so, you know, just have to go with it. Okay, it's not long, right? It's just a few teeth and the nice flowers here. So these flowers usually will look much nicer when you're gonna add color and you're gonna add the splatter into this kind of rounds, because then it really makes them 3D, really makes them pop. And this is the problem I have usually with inking. For me, inking never looks good until I add color. And sometimes I'm discarding certain drawings because they're not there yet, because the inking is making it look very strange. And I'm thinking, oh, this is a bad drawing. But actually, it's not. And sometimes you just have to go for it. Okay. Yeah. I see some links being shared left and right. Some different things being shared left and right. So maybe more people will join us. Yay. Would be so cool. So you see, this is where I think I kind of got it a bit wrong, because this flower is sitting on top of the potion, but it is at a weird angle. So maybe next time I would have done something differently here in this corner, because from a perspective point of view, it looks very strange. So this is clearly where I made a mistake. But it's okay, because I'm learning. Like, while I'm doing it, I'm realizing, like, oh, why did I do this? You know? So it's very important to not get upset or anything. Just think that it's normal. And I'm not doing a tutorial, so this is not a tutorial, because I'm like, why would I make a tutorial for something that I'm not all very good at making either, right? I would make a tutorial where I'm pretty sure that it's something super easy to make and super nice, but this is just learning, right? So it's not really a tutorial, it's just me sharing my experience, and I think the experience is really nice. And okay. I was really exciting this morning because I was looking forward to end of the day when I can actually draw and I can actually do the live stream. I did try to make some blog posts, and it turns out that my blog no longer works properly because I cannot actually add any pictures to my blog post, and it's probably some update that happened. So I'm actually considering right now whether I need a blog or not. I do not know. For now, I'll just concentrate on YouTube, streaming, and maybe probably Instagram. because that's where I post most of my pictures. Like if it's not a video and it's just a picture of something that I'm making, I will just always post it on Instagram. So this is on Instagram is where you would most probably find me all the time. So I'll just focus on these ones for now. Like I said, I'm just starting pretty low, right, with just some videos, and then I'll go from there. There's no rush right now. It's just for my friends and family, and then for whoever wants to join. If you do want to follow me, like in the link of this in the description of this YouTube video, it's actually links to, you know, my Instagram and my all other social media where I'm actually posting. So if you want to follow, please do so. If you're interested in following my journey, also don't forget to click that subscribe button. It would be nice to also start engaging again with some of my old subscribers. I know I haven't been posting, you know, very well, and now all of a sudden I'm coming here with a totally new proposition and a totally new way of doing things, no longer card making. But I think we can do both things in the same time, and we can kind of start a new journey. I don't know what you guys think. It's almost done. It's almost done. It's almost done. Yay. Now the last question for all of you. Do you have a lot of art on your walls at home? Do you actually consider buying art or consider buying prints to just embellish your homes? Or is not something that you're usually doing? Because I have a lot of art, and it's not only made by me, but I buy a lot of art from my favorite artists. But I'm just curious what other people are doing. Okay, so these are the teeth, and these are the dragon teeth, and these are like the roots, you know, when you do root canal and the doctor kind of murders you there. And I'm going to just add a little bit of the black dots here, just like the flowers would have it, just so that we understand what type of flowers they are. And then of course a lot of more things will happen, and nicer things is when I'm going to add color. But as we can see, live stream is almost 1 hour and I haven't yet finished all of it. So I'm trying to keep the live stream between until 1 hour, otherwise it becomes a bit too long and people might become bored. Don't want to get you bored. Anyway, out of all of them, I think the fancy one I like the most because it's the moon, and I always love the moon, so there's no discussion there. But you know, if you're watching this later on, please leave a comment and tell me which one of the three you actually liked and which one of the three you think maybe I should redo or I should start with coloring. So let me show you the other one. So this was the fancy one with kind of like the moon inside the potion, and this is the one that is with throw, because you're throwing away certain things into bowl. They're all nice and I like them all, and they're gonna look much more interesting when I'm going to erase the lines. So if you want to see the finished product more close by, if you want to see more details or learn a little bit more about them, follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm going to post my pictures for now. And yeah, then you can learn a little bit more about me. Thank you so much for watching and for taking the time to watch me during the live stream. It was fun. So hope to see you next time. And by the way, next time will be next Monday, because we're doing this every 3 days, right? And next Monday we're gonna have the next 3 ones. So thank you so much. See you. Have And Florine says, I don't have art, but I would buy something. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. I'm doing, you see, market research here. Lots of market research. Anyway, I'm going to sign off right now and see you next time.